Have you ever felt like something was watching you while you slept? Or maybe you've had the sensation of being touched, but when you opened your eyes, there was no one there. These unexplainable events can be unsettling, but for Melanie, they were just the beginning of a chilling encounter with the supernatural. From a young age, Melanie had experienced strange occurrences in the middle of the night, but it wasn't until her college years in Colorado that things took a terrifying turn. What happened to Melanie in that dorm near the old hospital? And why did she feel like she was floating in her mother's house? As we dive into Melanie's story, be prepared to feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and to wonder if you, too, have ever been visited by something beyond this world. Welcome to Eerie Encounters and Hauntings, the channel where we delve into the world of the paranormal and unexplained. If you're someone who loves to be scared, intrigued, and left questioning what's beyond our world, then you've come to the right place. Our team of researchers and storytellers has collected a vast array of spine-chilling tales that will send shivers down your spine. From haunted houses and ghostly apparitions to encounters with supernatural beings, we've got it all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming eerie encounters and hauntings. Let us also know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out in one of our future videos. We recently came across a story entitled The Haunting of Melanie that we just had to share. Melanie's childhood was filled with strange occurrences that she couldn't explain. She would wake up in the middle of the night to a feeling of movement in her bed, as if an unseen force was trying to shake her awake. This continued for years, leaving her scared and unsure of what was happening to her. Years later, Melanie found herself in a dorm room near an old, ghostly hospital in Colorado. The hospital was undergoing renovations at the time, and Melanie couldn't help but feel like she was being watched every time she walked by it. She would often wake up in the middle of the night feeling like she was floating, just like when she was a child. One night, Melanie woke up to find the top sheet on her bed descending over her body. It started at her feet, then slowly worked its way up her body until it was covering her shoulders and back. She was lying on her stomach and couldn't see the sheet, but she knew it was there. She tried to convince herself that she was just imagining things, but she knew that wasn't the case. As the sheet continued to cover her body, Melanie suddenly heard a surge of sound that pierced her right ear. It was a whispering sound, like 1,000 people were talking all at once. She was overwhelmed and couldn't make out what they were saying. The noise lasted for about 30 seconds before disappearing as suddenly as it had appeared. Melanie was terrified and didn't know what to do. She pretended to be asleep until the sheet eventually slipped off her body. She didn't tell anyone what had happened that night, not even her roommates. She couldn't shake the feeling that something supernatural had happened to her. After that night, Melanie began experiencing more strange occurrences. She would hear strange noises in her room, and objects would move on their own. She knew that she wasn't alone in her room, but she couldn't see anything. Melanie eventually confided in her mother about what had been happening to her. Her mother was hesitant to believe her at first, but she eventually agreed to move to a different neighborhood. Melanie thought that moving would solve her problems, but she was wrong. Even now, years later, Melanie still experiences strange occurrences. She still feels the eerie movement in her bed every once in a while, and she's convinced that a supernatural being is trying to contact her. As Melanie's story comes to an end, it leaves us with a sense of unease and mystery. The thought of something supernatural hovering over us as we sleep is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. It's hard to know what really happened in Melanie's bedroom that night, but one thing is for sure, she'll never forget it. If you enjoyed this story, please like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more eerie encounters and hauntings. Leave a comment if something similar has happened to you. We'd like to hear that. We'll be also bringing you more spine-tingling stories in the future, so stay tuned. Who knows? Maybe the next story will be about you. Until next time, sweet dreams. If you dare.